Okay. Hello, TikTok. Hello, YouTube. So, doing a little bit of sculpting today. Continue on. So, I've been sculpting a Gila monster so far. Thanks for the likes. So I'm doing this scale work on it. I've almost finished doing the top level. Just doing the rest of them under the head here. So I'm just using a piece of plastic to do like those preliminary scale bits, and that basically just provides a layer and rather sort of dints the clay rather than scratches it with a pointy tip. And then I'll go over it and start refining it a bit better once I've imprinted all of this. That sort of makes a bit more of an indentation than a scratch. So if I was to do it like this, it'll sort of scratch up the surface. We don't want that. We want a nice little flat dint that we can work with. Sorry, YouTube. It's better. Yes, I'm doing like just a preliminary little pattern work on this first. Get it all over and done with to begin with, and then I'll start cleaning it up a little bit. Thanks so much for the likes. So just to torture myself a little bit more, I'm doing another lizard that needs individual scales done, like the chameleon, but I think it looks really good. And you know, Gila monsters are cool looking patterns on them, so I think it'd be a fun doll to do amongst all the other dolls that I'm working on. So I've got two more heads to sculpt. That's what I've got in mind. 2 more heads to sculpt, which are cats for my Action Cat series. This is one of them, little yawning kitty cat. And I also got the 2 lions as well that I've been sculpting. I need to do all the paws for that. So maybe I'll try and get some paws done today so it's not such a monumental task ahead. So I haven't got much more to do on this Gila monster, which is pretty good. But yeah, got heaps of sculpting to do. And then I'll have a couple of dolls to work on. I need to do all the armature work for these guys as well, including the leopard seal, commission that I'm currently working on. So I've sculpted the head for that. Just have to put it all together. It's got the movable jaw. So yeah, a little bit of fiddling around with that one. But yeah, it is a smaller doll than my other one that I made. I didn't mean for that one to turn out so big, but these things happen. I'm making a conscious effort to keep my dolls small this time. We don't want them too big. All right, so there's some of the scale work so far. I've done a lot on the top. It needs to be cleaned up, but I'm getting shingleback vibes from it, but it is a Gila monster. So I've refined some of them around here, which I'll probably have to go back over. But I don't know what that means. But yeah, all right. So I'm just sort of going with the flow here. I do have reference images. So it sort of starts off, their scales sort of start off like a regular lizard sort of scale. And then it sort of tapers to these like circle bits, which are sort of, they just look round. So I have to sort of do a bit more refining on this one and make them all round and more sticky-uppy, if that's a word. That's the correct terminology, isn't it? Sticky-uppy. But yeah, they sort of change halfway down the head and become more like circular and spread out. So it's the snake, Gila monster. I do want to make some more snakes. I will in the future. I have an idea on how to do the snake skin, so I have to experiment. But I think that one's going to be a nice time-consuming task, which is good. We like those time-consuming ideas. Okay, looking good. What snakes are people into anyway? I like vipers. Maybe a pit viper would be good. Be a nice one to sculpt. Nice green. Well, you could do like a yellowy one. How much do you think it would be money-wise to do a pit bull? Probably be looking at about between $550 and $580 US, plus the shipping, but I do offer payment plans. I've done a few dogs before. Not a pit bull though, but they got cute little faces. I think you asked, were you the one that asked a couple of weeks ago? Ooh, a corn snake. That's a cute one. Nice red and black. No, okay. There was another one that asked for a pit bull. A kitty. What color is it? Thinking of doing like maybe a tree viper. Do I have a rat? I don't have one at the moment, but I've made plenty of rats before. Heaps of rats. It's mainly commissions for people's pets. The rat people love their rats. Done heaps of different colors. I've done like people's fantasy sort of rats. Done a purple one. White, grey, ones with like patterns on them. A lot of white ones. Rats are always really difficult to sculpt for me, like rodents in general. They have like very similar faces, but like very subtle differences that make them look like what they're supposed to. So we go. Nice time-consuming scale work. I thought about doing a little tongue for this one, but maybe next time. I've got like a little purpley forked tongue. I thought it was pretty cute, but maybe next time. I haven't sort of thought about how I should do the tongues actually. Alright, so hey David, how are you going? So cute. I'm looking forward to doing the paint work on this one. I think it'll be pretty fun to do. I enjoyed doing the paint work on the chameleon. That was super fun. I'm just trying to mark out where I want all these scales to go before I start refining them all. I'm going to have to start tapering these next ones into circles. I went to your page and I saw the rads. They do look so good. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I did a pair. It was a grey one and a white one, and the white one had like a little bit of brown marking on the nose. That was for a customer whose rats, she doesn't have them anymore, so they obviously moved on, passed on. And yeah, she wanted them to remember them by. But yeah, I think because I've done a fair few like animal ones, pet ones. And by far, it's the rat owners and the ferret owners that are the most popular. Probably rats and then ferrets. And then cats and dogs. The rat owners just love their rats. Alright, I'm trying not to take too long by doing these bits because this is just blocking it out really. Marking where I want the scales to go. Do you have any pets? I've got a kitty cat. He's a Burmese, a brown Burmese. Very little kitty. One of the smallest cats I've ever come across. So I plan on doing like different breeds of cats with my Action Cat series too. So this little one looks to me, turned out, it looks like a little Siamese kitten. So I'm going to go with a Blue Point Siamese kitten for this one. I'm going to do 2 other cats and I haven't quite decided what color I want to do, what breed. So I think I was thinking of doing one that had like a half black face and a half orange face. I think they would look pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know the other ones. I was thinking an Abyssinian, but I don't know. British short hair. Okay, so I've only got this part left to do, and then a bit of a cleanup and refining of this old guy. So I'm going to start trying to round these off here. And yeah, I'm using the plastic just to dint the clay rather than score it. So scoring it sort of makes it a little bit more work to do, while this one sort of spreads it around a bit better and just sort of dints it. Not much left to do. So I'll use the same fabric for this one as well as what I did with the chameleon, because I know it works. And I've still got some floating around. So it's just a cotton fabric, nothing special. But it is supposed to be color changing. Doesn't work that well, but all right. Just a bit here. Just a bit of a bigger one. I might need to even add a tiny bit of clay on top of these to get them a little more rounded than what they currently are. We'll see how we go. Looking good. Got that little bit left to sort of map out. There's a nice thickness of with plastic. It's a good happy medium. Not too thin, not too thick. Doesn't tear easily. I didn't even know where this came from, to be honest. To make note next time. So the clay that I'm using is Sculpting Original, which is a polymer clay that you just bake in the oven, and it's a little bit more on the softer side, just because I like working with soft clays. But you can get ones that are a bit harder to work with as well. Super Sculpty Firm. Not my favourites, but I use Super Sculpty sometimes, depending on the project. And it's kind of like semi-translucent too, so works well for like noses, cat noses, mouths, all that sort of thing. Anything with like a beigey tone to it. Hey, Belle, is that right? How are we today? Or BE113. Doing air, how are you? Yes, Belle. Well, I got it the first time. I'm good. Just trying to do a little bit more work on this Killer Monster. So we'll be making it into a... Thanks for the follow, Loot. So I'm just making a little Gila Monster. And I'm just sort of trying to refine the scale work a little bit. So I mapped out all of the clay bits here. There's still a little bit of work to do. Hey Tanya, thanks for the follow. Nice head you got there. I normally have it the other way, but since I'm doing the sculpting, like you can't really see what I'm doing when I'm doing sculpting. So I've got this view at the moment, but normally I have it like facing me. But yeah, once I start putting the dolls together, I'll change the view back around. But for the time being, you can't really see any sculpting when I have it the other way. So I'm just trying this view out. Just while I'm sculpting. I'm just trying to round these off a little bit. So it's a little bit more work, but the scales tend to look a bit more rounded when they're up sort of this back of the head here. So I'm just going to just round off some of these edges. Now I'm using like this little really a spoon, it's just like a flat-ended paddle sort of tool, and it's really great for rounding things because it's got like a slight curve in it, so you can just sort of follow, you know, around the little sculpt bit here. I'm just going to run my finger over it just to smooth it out as well. So some of them are just going to have to be a bit more oval shaped, I think. Okay. So I've already sort of done this side here. Probably needs a little bit of going over again. But I'm going to have the fabric sort of butting up to this bit anyway. And then I'll sort of start blending it with my method that I do for scales on fabric. So, it's, you know, going to start blending bits of different mediums together. You have to try not to push on it too hard to warp all these details as well. Yeah. So for this little eye area as well, I need to add some little bit of scale work to it, which I probably should do now. So basically, just get like a tiny bit of clay. Or like literally a tiny piece of clay. And sort of stick it on. Again, tiny. It's like the most minuscule, tiny bit of clay. And then I'll blend it in once I've put all of its pieces on. teeny tiny last one in this little corner bit here. I can get it in. Okay. Sort of blend it in a little bit. Just trying to be careful not to distort the eyelids too much either. Just gives a little bit of texture to the eyelids. They've got like tiny little scales on them. So we've got to add them. Girl, you need to cut your nails. No way. I actually use them for sculpting. They feel a bit weird when I cut them too. It's because I have them long all the time. But they're good tools. Good tools for sculpting. They end up breaking anyway. They're like free range nails. But see how handy that is to get in those little crevices. And you know, handy to cut little bits off like that. Handy wandy. Okay, last one. Put it there. And start blending them in, just for little details. All right. Looking good. Okay, won't need to add any more. All right, so let's just start trying to clean all this up. So we want the edges of these scales back here to be circular. So I'm sort of just pulling up these edges here. And then try and sort of roll over it to blend it in a little better. Make it more of a circle or a lump more than anything. Okay. Again, this one. Okay. So it's a little bit of a time-consuming process, but you know, that's what happens with scale work though. I just think it needs to go a little bit above and beyond for this, for the Gila monster, just because these scales are very particular and rounded. So I think if I were to leave it like this, it looks more like a shingleback. I suppose once I put the paintwork on it, it'll look like the Gila monster. Yeah. So you can see how time consuming these things can be. They just take a long time. Try and round this one a little bit. Okay, just gonna refine these little ones a bit. So you can see the difference it makes when I've rounded them to the non-rounded ones. Is that a Sphinx head? I'm getting Siamese kitten vibes off that one. So I think I'm going to go for a blue point Siamese kitten for this one. But yeah, it does kind of look like that too. Just kind of getting kitten vibes off it. It's probably like the peak on the head, I think, is what it's doing it. Your daughter has two Sphinx, one an elf Sphinx and the other is a normal Sphinx. Nice. The chameleon. It's very realistic. Very still. Yes, I'm just torturing myself doing another reptile. So yeah, just doing a Gila monster this time. But I got a fair bit of sculpting to do because all the dolls that I was working on are finished. So I've been sculpting away here. So yeah, just trying to finish off this scale work on the Gila monster so I can bake it. I have to make the little hands for it. I have to do all these paws for all these dolls that I've sculpted. Oh, thank you. Here's a little look at it. It's all the scales are done individually. This is my bright idea. Here's a little head. Cute. It's quite fun to do, actually. There's a lion that I'm working on. This is a female. And I got the male as well. So male and female. Female's a bit spicy. My little kitty cat, and also another leopard seal. Another leopard seal art doll. This is going to have a movable jaw. So I have to put it all together at some point with the armature. So a couple of dolls on the go. I've got 2 more cats to sculpt as well. It'll be part of my action cat series. This one's the first one. I'm doing 3 to begin with. I'm just trying to roll this so it's a bit more of a bump rather than a flat scale. Which one was I doing? This one, I think. Hey, Max. I'm all right. How are you going? I'm just trying to get rid of the pointy ends on these ones. Okay, just going to get my ball tool and redo this nostril. This one a little bit too. don't even know if these ones are going to be visible. I think it's going to be covered in fabric. These ones back here. I'm not going to be too concerned. Okay, the fabric's going to sit there. Yep. Okay. Smooth it over. Scale work. Why did I do it? Why did I tell myself this would be fun? almost finished this top one. I've always got reference images up on my computer to make sure I'm getting all of these correct, all these details correct. So I'm not too concerned if there's ones that aren't super bumpy. Seems like all their scales, you know, different with each individual. Generally similar. See the difference with the ones that I've sort of rounded to the ones that haven't been rounded? So there's a lot of difference. So this is why I got to do it. Okay. So this is where the armature will go in here, about there. But I have to bake it first, and then I'll attach the armature. I have to do it. I might do it all in one because there's a fair few things that I need to put armatures in. Looking good. Should I try the snake next? I don't know. I have to do a bit of experiment with how to do the snake skin. So I think when I do the skin for this one, I'll use some of the excess and just do a bit of an experiment with, you know, shaping the snake skin. I think it's going to be really time consuming, but I think by the end of it, it'll be worth it. So some scales are different. You know, this Gila Monster has really particular scale pattern, so that's why I sort of chose the Gila Monster to do. And I like the color on it. It's orange and black. So, and they all seem to have different sort of patterns. So it gives me like free reign to just do the pattern that I want to do. That makes sense. I don't need to follow any particular pattern. There might be a few little scales that I'll put some extra clay on just to get that volume, because I think they're a little bit concave. So like this one here, I think might need a little bit of extra volume. Oh, my chair in. Okay. I always end up like slipping towards the front of my chair. Just get way too into it, I think. So yeah, this tool is a really great tool for getting circular things because it's sort of on an angle a little bit. So it's really good to get, you know, a circular angle on this. It sort of flattens the edges a little bit. Hey, honey bunny, are you making a snake? This one is a Gila Monster. So I'm just trying to finish this scale work on it. I've done most of the top of the head and I've got a little bit, I've got the hole underneath to do. But yeah, it's a little Gila Monster this time. But I am thinking of doing snakes. I've done one snake before that was a bit more, it was for the Lunar New Year, so the year of the snake. So it was a bit of a fantasy color, but yeah, I was thinking of doing maybe like a pit viper or something. Something cool like that. After like this lot of dolls that I've got going on, after I finish that lot. So a lot of sculptures going on here at the moment. Thank you. Yeah, an eyelash viper would be cool. It'd be a cool little like. Have to figure out like a way to do the little lashes on there, or the lashes, I guess you could call it. And they change colors too, so that's kind of cool. I think I just like the name Viper. They are quite cool snakes though. I'm not big into snakes, but they are cool, especially venomous ones. Being in Australia. Have I done a turtle? Actually, no, I haven't done a turtle before. I did think about it a while ago. I just never did it. But I've neglected sea creatures, I have to say. So maybe this year I'll revisit the whole turtle thing. Maybe like a leatherback or something. Sorry, I gotta do this verify puzzle piece thing. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll do like a leatherback or a green sea turtle or something like that. Green sea turtles are pretty cute. Snapping turtle would be cool. I could do the movable jaw. You're a gnarly looking turtle. Just make more work for myself. You don't know how you would do this, but a jellyfish would be cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. Could use like latex or something. Could do one of those deep sea jellyfish that have luminescent lights in them. That would be cool. You can get like a PVC sort of material that's clear. I just don't know what you'd fill it with. Air. You'd have to pick a jellyfish that's kind of like coloured or something. Or has like weird yucky insides. Oh, a strawberry. It does look like a strawberry. No, it's a Gila monster. Oh, look, a strawberry. Yeah, I've done heaps of squirrels before. Yep. So I'm sort of making my way around to the end here. I just got to be really careful with where my fingers are going now because it ends up sort of flattening this out and then it's just like a rat race going around and around, you know, trying to fix everything. So it's like going to be a happy medium. Have I done a duck? No, I haven't done a duck. Birds I've sort of neglected a little bit as well, just because the feather work is really time consuming. I've made a fair decent amount of birds, but I make my own feathers too, so I don't use any animal products. So it's just a big task to make all the feathers, and I'm sort of in the middle of doing some more testing to make the feathers a bit more realistic as well. So I'm wanting to do a secretary bird, which I want to sort of test my feather idea for. But there's plenty of really cool looking ducks around. I have a soft spot for ducks. I don't know why. I like ducks. Especially like your run-of-the-mill runner duck. They're just super cute. No problem. All right, looking good. I'll clean up this side a little bit. Hey, Yana. My bestie is obsessed with ducks. A rubber duck collection. Oh, you can get those really cool coloured ducks, don't? Rubber ducks. Where do you put them all? That's what I'd like to know. Dedicated bookshelf for rubber ducks. Hey, Maddie. You haven't seen me in a while? Oh, that's no good. Who knows with TikTok? Lots of weird. Sometimes it posts my things, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it doesn't. So, who knows? It's been giving me a lot of restrictions lately for, I don't know, promoting my own brand or something. Who knows? Bizarro restriction. Okay, I'm going to add a tiny bit of clay to that one because I don't like how it's sort of a little bit concave and I don't like it. So, not too much. I'm going to pop that on there. Sort of blend that in. So there were sort of two ways about going, doing these lumps, you could call them. So yeah, one was sort of adding clay to the top, which I might do still. Just some more of these, these bigger ones at the back here. Looks like a snake or lizard. Yeah, it's a Gila monster. What kind of clay am I using? I am using Sculpting Original. So it's a polymer clay that you bake in the oven, and it's a little bit softer than the other polymer clays you can get. Just my preference of working with softer clays. But yeah, Sculpting Original. Yeah, so it sort of rounds it a little bit. I might still do this, you know, just to make it a bit more of a time-consuming process. But yeah, some of them sort of aren't as round as what I want them to be. But I need to just sort of shape them a bit better. So they are sort of rounded. Air dry clay is really hard to work with. I don't like it. I never work with air dry clay. Well, hardly ever. But yeah, air dry clay, because it's like kind of a lot of, when it dries, a lot of the moisture comes out of it and it ends up cracking or shrinking quite a lot. So that's why I don't like working with air dry clays. Sometimes it takes forever for it to dry too. First time you've seen your FYP. Oh, that's good. That's kind of nice to hear that I'm getting into someone's FYP. Well, I think one of the air dry clays I know people like to work with is La Doll. That's supposed to be a really nice air dry clay. I've got a packet and I've never used it. I don't even know why I have it. Well, just one of those things, I guess. Thanks for the repost. It's got a nice chunky head, this lizard. I actually thought I'd have this finished quicker, but you know. Scale work, you can't underestimate scale work. Especially when you change your mind about how you're going to do it halfway through. Okay. You can see the difference when I've sort of done this scale work to this scale work. It's not, there's no depth to this one, whereas this side you can see it's got a lot more texture and looking like what it's supposed to. But we're not 100% finished with this side anyway. I don't think. We've still got all this to do here, which it sort of tapers off into more of a scale look rather than a bulb, you could call it. Let's call it a bulb on top. So it just needs a bit of cleanup, I think. A little bit of cleanup and shaping. So these have more of a kind of like a squarish sort of shape to it, whereas the other ones are round, so don't have to shape this too much because I've already done it when I did the initial blocking in. So it's really just shaping it a bit better. And I don't have to round it up too much as well. You're welcome. I hope you see that. It's the logo of me. Yeah, I'm in Melbourne. Melbourne. I don't get a lot of people from Melbourne coming in, surprisingly. A lot of people from New South and Queensland. Gee, hardly any Melburnians. Hey, Angie. It's a Gila monster. Similar. Very similar. A lot of people think this is a snake. I will do more snakes. In the near future. Do you sell these? Yes, I've got a shop, creaturesandart.com. The chameleon is my newest one that I put up there, but all of these are going to be up in my shop eventually, apart from the leopard seal, as that one is a commission piece. And yeah, so these will all be up eventually when I finish them. Oh, you love the blank heads? Yeah, they'll all be made into dolls eventually. So female lion, this would be a lion pair, male and a female. lion and a lioness. Just doing a whole lot of sculpting at the moment. Part of my Action Cat series. Little kitty, yawning kitty. I've got the leopard seal. This one's going to have a movable jaw as well. I haven't quite put it in place yet, so I will do that in the future. And yeah, so I finished basically all the dolls that I was working on. I finished, so it's up to a whole bunch of more sculpting for parts. Thank you. You love clay stuff. Nice one. So do I. So do I. I love making clay stuff. It's always a fun endeavor. Like you just want a sculpture, because yeah, I'm not going to sell that one in particular, but I could do a sculpture of one. Just because this one's going to be part of my Action Cat series, so it's already sort of accounted for. Did you want just like a piece as a sculpture, or are you trying to make your own doll with it? I don't really do that, is all. Oh, thank you. You'd put it on your, oh yeah. I could do something like that. Just if you're interested, just send me a message on my website. So I have done like pieces with it's like a board, and I mount it onto the board, sort of like that. But I could do something like that, but this one's kind of accounted for at the moment. But yeah, it's so I paint up like my own sort of board to look like a timber, and I mount the head onto it, sort of like that. I haven't done one for a while, but I have done a few of them in my time. Coolies. Yeah, and let me know like the breed of cat too. So obviously they have their own little characteristics. Do you make frogs? Actually, this is a very old project, but I was going to turn this into I was going to mold it and cast it in resin, and yeah, do like resin casts, paint them up, but I never got around to it. I never finished it, but that's a little froggy. It's based off a green tree frog, so it's nice and chunky. And that's been sitting there for like 6 years as an unfinished project. You know how it goes. Is that a Sphinx? No, I'm getting like Siamese kitten vibes off this one, but it does look like a Sphinx. So I think I'm going to do a blue Siamese kitten, blue point. So that's the vibe that I'm getting off it. I sort of sculpted it with like no breed in mind, just whatever comes out. So I'm going to do 2 more Action Cats for that series too before I release those dolls. One is Zoomies and one is Pooping. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is cute. So yeah, got a couple of weird little dolls in the making. See how it goes. Sometimes people don't like the cat butts, hence I'm making the pooping one. Just to accommodate them. Pooping one. I was even like complete with like litter box and poop. That's just my silly humour though. It's not for everyone, but I thought it would be a funny doll. I made a medieval cat not long ago and I put a butthole in it and people were very offended for context. So I decided to do a pooping one. Did I miss anything? Still doing the scales. I've done all this though. But yeah. So that's the context for the pooping one. That's amazing. Yeah, I want to do like a whole series of it, of different sort of expressions in cats. Because why not? They're full of them, right? Plotting, MURDER one. Don't know if I can say that on live. Might get restriction for saying that word. Plotting demise, let's call it. Plotting the human's demise. Let's call it that one. That's a good one. It'd be like one of those pissed off faces catching a bird. Oh, patience. Yeah, look, it just needs to be done. I've got a lot of unfinished stuff. Me too. Not too much, but yeah, me too. It's mostly more like painting that's unfinished stuff rather than sculptures. But yeah, definitely in the same boat. Yeah, so zoomies is one as well. I've got the perfect zoomies eyes. Zoomies, pooping, cleaning is a good one. I was going to also do like licking a window as well. So that was sort of another idea. Drinking water. They always have silly faces when they're doing that. I mean, there's plenty. They're full of weird expressions. I feel like I'll run out of expressions though. That's the best. There's hissing, but that's, you know, a bit of a... That's not a silly one though. Meowing is another one. I do meowing. Or you know how they make that sound, like sound. Yeah, same. Thanks for all the gifts and stuff. All the heart me. I regularly do this weirdness, so I'm around. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm just trying to run my finger over just to smooth all these little edges out a little bit. Beautiful. I'm kind of getting shingle back vibes off this one. Oh, yeah, I've had a headache for like the past 2 days. Very frustrating. Here, collect dolls. And so I might add my own touch to them. Oh, you're right. What type of dolls? I'm not going to do too much on these ones here. I'll probably just clean them up like a tad. Because they don't really need to be rounded all that much. So just sort of clean it up a little bit, not too overboard. And then it sort of tapers off around this area to back to the rounded ones. So just sort of do a little cleanup. Okay, looking pretty good to begin with anyway. That initial blocking out did a lot of good job on that. AliExpress. Ah, yeah. Yeah, right. You like mermaids? I was never really into mermaids when I was younger. Thank you for the follow, Swallow. Follow, Swallow. Follow, Swallow. Follow, Swallow. Okay, so these bits are a little bit more rounded. I'm trying to be careful not to muck up the detail on here with my fingers, which inevitably it's going to. And it's going to have to be like a cat chasing its tail here. Like dragons. I'm a sucker for a dragon, I have to say. Alright, so probably not going to do as deeper ones on the underbelly. Don't think they're as quite as deep as the top ones. Alright, so I'm probably going to leave there for today. Tomorrow I'll come back and try and finish these scales. Hopefully we can finish them. They just take time to do. So we've only got the underbelly to do anyway. And then we'll be finished and ready to bake. So yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. This is our little Gila monster. You got some 3D printed ones and blind box ones. Nice. All right. I have to go and smooth all this out anyway. Bit of work. All right, so yeah, tomorrow I'll be on again from about 12:30 till 2ish. So not a lot of time, but it's literally a lot of time I get these days. And yeah, so that's our little Gila monster. I'll try and finish it tomorrow. So YouTube, I'll catch you tomorrow.